Hey guys, what is going on? It is RC Knockout and I am back with another video. Now, if you're new to the channel, my name is Nolan. In today's video, I'm pretty excited because today is going to be the very first test of this right here. So this right here is the RUKO Q111 112 scale military assault tank. And you might have seen an unboxing video with this machine. I just did an unboxing of this machine. It goes for about $130. Ruko sent this to me. They want me to do videos on it. They want me to test it out. They want me to advertise it to you guys. But I'm going to try my best to be as unbiased as possible because I don't want to send you guys over there to purchase this thing. By the way, there will be a link down in the description where you can buy this. But I don't want to recommend you guys to buy this if it's not that good. As of right now with the unboxing, I'm fairly impressed. It has a decent amount of weight to it. It's actually feels like it's pretty solidly built. The only downfall I've seen so far is that it's not waterproof, so we can't go take it through mud and water, unfortunately, unless I figure out some solution to waterproof everything. Really don't know how capable this thing is. It does say on the box this thing's capable of 15 kilometers an hour, which I think is like 8 or 9 miles per hour. So this is faster than most of my crawlers, actually. Does have suspension, like shocks within the tracking system. Kind of concerned about whether these plastic wheels within the tracks will hold up or not. Tread is pretty, there's not much to the tread on the tracks. So if I were to take this through mud, if I am able to waterproof at some point, I don't know how much it's going to get through because there's just very little tread on it. But they are rubber tracks. I am a little concerned, will this track come off of these wheels? Will I have issues with the track coming off? I don't know, we will see. But that's what we're doing in today's video, guys. I'm super excited. I've never had a military tank before. So what I'm gonna do, guys, is I'm gonna go ahead, throw the 2S LiPo in. There's two 2S LiPos that came with this RC. They're 1500 milliamp, and they go in right from the bottom right here. So you have to unscrew a little Phillips head right here, then pop this little door open, and then you put a 2S LiPo in. At least I think it's a LiPo. It's 1500 milliamp, and it came with two of them. And it claims up to 45 minutes runtime total between the two. So we will see about that. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to go ahead, throw the battery in, and we're going to jump right into testing this thing and see how capable it really is. There's a little water tank right here, and it claims in the directions, in the instructions, you can pull that out. There's a tank, a little water tank in there that you can fill up with water. So I brought some water with me, and then supposedly sprays water, and I don't know where it comes out of. I can only assume it comes out of these little ducts right here on the side. Otherwise, I have no idea where else it would come out of. Maybe the back? I don't know. I'll fill that up at some point and we'll test that out. Because all you're supposed to do is press this smoking button right here on the controller, and that's supposed to start spraying the water out of somewhere. Alrighty, guys, real quick, I want to show you guys the process of swapping the battery, or putting the battery in, or swapping them out. These are the batteries it comes with right here. It comes with two of these. I misspoke earlier because I said they were LiPo batteries, but I was wrong. They are actually lithium-ion batteries. So, but they're 1500 milliamp, 7.4 volt lithium-ion rechargeable batteries. It just comes with a little trickle charger for both of them. And it took, I want to say, about 3 hours to get it fully charged using that trickle charger. So it took a while. But it does claim 45 minutes of runtime between the two batteries. So what I'm going to do is get the battery installed, and we're going to jump right in this testing video. Basically, you flip this over. It did not come with a screwdriver, so you're going to have to bring a Phillips head with you. Just go ahead, undo that little Phillips head, set that aside, then go ahead and pop this little door open, and then it has this tiny little plug in here. I don't know what type. It looks like a small little like Tamiya plug or like a Molex plug, but it's much smaller than what I've seen. And I think those ones are white or gray. But just go ahead, you just snap this in like such. There we go. It went, and then just pack that down in there. Push the wire down in, and then you can go ahead, put the lid or the cover on, pop it down. I am kind of wondering, is the Phillips screw necessary? Because I really don't know if it actually is. This might be a hole. These are on here pretty tight, these two little hinged pieces that clip in, so it might be able to hold that battery in place without it. But just for extra measures, since this is the first time testing this thing, I'm going to go ahead and put the Phillips screw back in, thread that in. Alright, guys, and she is ready to go. It is time to get this thing turned on. I did have to put 3 AA batteries in the controller because it does not include the AA batteries that go in the transmitter. But we're going to go ahead, flip it on, and then you go ahead and we go, and I believe, yeah, we push down on this button, then it turns on. And as you guys can see, it has little blue lights on the front. It actually has multiple lights. It has a light across the top, that light bar, that's pretty cool. And then it has two like blue lights on the front, which I think is pretty dope. So I'm really excited to test it out. So let's get started testing. Alrighty guys, and here we go. Yeah, that one across the top just kind of does like a beacon type signal thing. But the other ones on the front bumper are constantly on. There we go. I wonder if there's any bearings in this. I don't know. There might be bearings in this, but I'm not sure. I'm guessing all these wheels probably don't have bearings. They probably just have like little bushings in them, or maybe nothing. So that might be another reason why this thing's maybe not supposed to go into water. But how about a launch, guys? You've never heard that before on the channel. A launch with a tank. Ready, get set, go! Let's take it up over this right here. A little bit of a hump right here. Now you guys can see one of the issues we have is that the track isn't even touching the ground right along here. So it's only touching here, and that's about it actually. It's just touching like right down here. Up here it's not even actually touching. You might be able to see there's a gap there. It's actually not even touching on this side. So when I try to crawl up it nice and slow, like here's just a tiny bit of throttle. Here. That's, when look how tippy it's getting up high. Like this is actually pretty steep. Most of that weight's sitting at the back right now, guys. Ooh. Can she make it? You have to give it a little bit of throttle, I think. Really, I think you just need to kind of just power over stuff. So like, got a little bit of air on that one. Turn it back this way. Also guys, if you're enjoying this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate it. Yeah, with a little bit of momentum and just a little bit of speed, but yeah, it is pretty cool how it just goes around and around. It almost does like a wheelie, kind of. I guess it wouldn't be a wheelie, a traxie? Traxie. We'll call it a traxie. Where it struggles is like right along here, but look at how much of the track's actually in the dirt. There's very loose dirt right here too, so this might not be the best test of it on a dirt like this. There's actually a rock pile back here. I'm probably gonna test it on that and see if it fares any better on that, because obviously, like I said, with the tread that it just has these little slits in it. It's not an aggressive tread pattern. So I can't really expect it to dig and stuff, and that's probably the biggest flaw I've seen with it so far, is that the tread pattern's not very aggressive. All the drive is coming from the rear wheel, it looks like, guys. So the rear wheel on both sides. But yeah, she just can't get traction. That's tin. It's like a belt sander. She just starts to dig in. Bring it up this way. It actually did get a bit of air there. That's kind of cool. Bring it back up. Full throttle. On the box, guys, it actually says drifting tank. So I don't have the box with me. I already did the unboxing in the last video, but on the box, I remember it said drifting vehicle or drifting tank. So they must consider this for drifting. She's kicking up a little bit of dirt. It kind of is drifting in a way. It's kicking up a lot of dirt. There's already a little bit of squeaking going on, but my guess is because there's not bearings on a lot of these wheels. A lot of these wheels probably don't have bearings on them. Maybe these main ones probably do. Maybe, but these ones probably, my guess would be these ones right here, these smaller ones, probably don't have any bearings, which is probably why the thing's already squeaking going through all the dirt. And that might be part of the reason why they say use this in good weather conditions, because that's what they say. They say use it in good weather conditions. Nowhere does it say it's not waterproof, but since it said use it in good weather conditions, that tells me it's not supposed to go through water and mud. We'll see about dust. Obviously, I'm kicking up a ton of dust here at the RC track, but we're going to take it over here, guys. She can still rip pretty well through the grass, too. This grass along here is pretty long, and she can still rip through it. It just like tears up the grass. Like I said, the drive wheels I think are the rear ones. So the thing is, all that weight's to the rear of the tank, which that's the downfall when you're trying to climb up something. But the thing is, when you're trying to go through grass and stuff, it makes the front end hop up and it's sitting on the back of the track. So it's kind of like, almost like a boat. Like I don't know if it's called the bow of the boat, how it points upward. I don't know if that's bow or stern. Like, see what I mean? The tracks don't like turning as much in the grass, but that makes sense because they're getting tangled in these grasses. These grasses are pretty darn long here. They're getting tangled a little bit in the grass. It can still do it. You can just tell that the motor, like there, the motor is straining a little bit. There. Oh, did you guys see that? This is super tall grass here. I don't think it'll make it over this. No. This grass is too long here. I mean, this is like 8 inches tall. Yeah, see, it's not too much of that weight is sitting at the back. So once this thing goes nose up like that, it's only the rear part of the tread back here that's even touching the ground, and it's not aggressive tread, so you can't really expect it. You can't really expect it to climb up stuff super steep. So that's one thing. Like, it might be able to do a 45-degree angle, but it has to have good traction on both tracks, otherwise it's not going to do that. Like, it's still capable. Like, I can still charge it through this. We're still on the first battery. I've been ripping it for probably 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes now. And here's that little rock pile. Actually, you know, this might not be that much better because I guess it's not actually rock. This looks like it's actually like lime. But we can attempt to climb up it. Yeah, this stuff's just as soft as the, this stuff right here is just as soft, actually almost worse than the dirt. Ooh. She really gets spinning when you give it full throttle and turn it like that. Try that again. There, that's full pin, full turn. It's not slow, it's actually spinning pretty fast. Oh, terminal velocity. Oh, yeah, that's actually pretty fun. All right, I think with enough momentum, this is kind of steep, this first part, you can't tell, then it kind of levels out a little bit. I think with enough speed, we'll be able to make it up it. There, made it up. I never thought I'd like a RC tank. Who would have thought? Like, that's about the most flex you're gonna get out of that track. You see the suspension's doing its thing right there. Those ones are pushing up a little bit, they're compressed a little bit. That's about the most amount of like suspension articulation, I guess you could say, you're gonna get with this thing, it looks like. It's not gonna go flex any more than that. And see, it was able to keep that track on the ground that whole time. She just turned off, guys. Okay, and the blue lights are blinking, so 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 3 blinks. Let me go back because I have got a instruction manual with me that says what all the blinks mean. One of them's overheating protection, which I've been ripping around pretty fast. I've had it almost pinned most of that time for like the last 10 plus minutes. It has some directions that say what mode it went into. I wonder if that was overheating mode it just clicked into real quick. Now it turned off. Let's see if she goes again. Yeah, I'm guessing that was probably the overheating mode. Well, let's keep on running her. No way it's gonna make it up that. Like I said, it becomes a belt sander basically. Basically just becomes a sander at that point, just digs itself a little bit of a hole. Full speed! I think if I go all the way back there and do a bit of a run up, I think I can make it up this. Here we go. Full speed. And we made it. How about we jump it off that? Ready? Go. That can't be good for the plastic wheels though. All right guys, and we got our second set of lights happening. And this time, okay, this time it's 2 blinks. Can you see that? The ones in the bumper, 1, 2. That is low voltage protection. I remember reading that in the manual. So that actually lasted quite a while. I was ripping full speed for, I don't even know how long. Like, that lasted quite a bit more than I thought it was gonna. And that's just the first battery, guys. As of right now, guys, everything's still working. First run. There's a little bit of squeaks. A little bit of squeaks to her, but like I said, I'm sure that's because there's not bearings in some of those wheels. I'll have to give her a good spray down when I get home. Not spray down because it's not waterproof, but I'll clean it off. Since this is just dust and dirt, I'll spray it off with my air compressor, and that'll get most of the grit off of it. Maybe can lube up some of those plastic wheels with WD-40 so they'll spin freely. Okay, and there she finally turned off, guys. 1, 2. That's really nice, the 2 blinks on the bumper that tell you that it hit low voltage mode. And yeah, she is filthy, but what we're gonna do, guys, we're gonna go ahead, get that little bottle and pour some of that water in and see what that whole spraying feature is all about. It says smoking on this, and it says spraying in the manual, but it says smoking on this. So it doesn't do anything right now, but there's no water in it. So let me go ahead, pour some water in, and we'll test it out. All right, so I just got this about 1/3 of the way, almost halfway full with water, and you're just supposed to squirt it down in here. I have no idea how much water it holds. So it didn't hold very much. It only held like about a total of 1 of those little bottles. And now it's filled up to the top. And then you just put this little fake canister plug, push that down, and that goes in there like such. Now I'm interested. Let's see, is it still on? Oh no, it cut power altogether. So I'm gonna have to swap in the new battery because we still have 1 battery left, and then we'll be able to test that water feature and see what that's all about. All right, I got it filled up. I got that new battery swapped in, so let's go ahead and try out this spraying feature and see what that's all about. Oh, is that what it does? Oh, I see why it says smoking. It's supposed to mimic smoke. You might not be able to see that well in this. That's actually kind of cool, actually. Can you guys see that in here? So it's misting out the water, and it's misting it out so finely, I guess, that it appears like smoke. That's why it says smoking on the controller. So that's actually pretty cool. So I was wondering where it came out of. So it just comes out of these very back things right here. Wow, that's pretty cool. I wonder how long it's gonna last, because that tank's full. We'll just run it with that on and see how long that lasts, guys. Because yeah, that's pretty cool that it does that. Kind of looks like it's smoking. But let's start ripping, guys, and find some more stuff to do. You can even hear it too. It sounds like a little water sprayer or something. I do have to say, in the grass, she does not like to turn like without going forward. Like, she's starting to get tangled up there. Like there, it stopped because it does not want to go any further that way. So it does have like, and maybe that's a safety thing, like when it feels too much strain on the drivetrain, maybe it cuts the power. So you kind of have to be going forward to be able to do it. You don't have to be going forward very fast, but don't expect to be able to do these 360s stationary. So you're gonna want to give it a little bit of throttle and then steer it. Ooh, we almost got caught in the grass there. So that's what you're gonna want to do, guys. You're gonna want to give it a little bit of throttle when you're turning, and then you can make it through the grass just fine. But yeah, that feature's pretty cool. Can you guys hear that? Sweet. I'm thinking time for some tricks. Here we go. Ollie. Do another jump. So that's probably not recommended. What I'm doing here, jumping onto hard packed dirt like that, that probably is not good for it. I'm just kind of really testing this thing, probably harder than most of you guys would test it, because if it's gonna break, I wanna break it before you guys go and buy this thing. And so far, she's held up. You know, I've had RCs that I've had higher expectations for, like much more expensive RCs that I've had higher expectations for that I've had less fun with in the first run, where there's been some type of issue. So no matter how much you pay for an RC, there can be issues. Like, it can do that very well in dirt. So in dirt like that, it can do that 360 all day long in either direction. So there, or back in that direction. And then you don't have, it's proportional. So you can just go a little bit like this, or a little bit in this direction, or full. So yeah, she spins really good, like stationary when it's in dirt. But let's rip it some more. Ooh, got caught in the grass over there. Ooh, I see what happened. We did first issue with this thing, guys. The track came off. And I see how it happened. It got bound up in this grass on the side hill right here. But let's see, it should just be pretty simple to pop back on. Yeah. Oh, came off of this one a little bit as well. All right, it's back on, guys. So that was the first issue, but not really much of a fix to it. That function's still working. We've probably been doing this for 4 or 5 minutes. And it's kind of hard to see the mist in the dirt, but it's still misting out from the back. We got a little bit of air on that one, guys. Like I said, guys, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. I put a lot of time and effort into making these videos. So if you guys could take one quick second, leave this video a like, I would truly appreciate it. It really helps out my channel. Really makes it more likely where I'll be able to test stuff like products like this by other companies if these are getting likes, and especially if you guys are buying them. So far, I am impressed. There's gonna be more testing to come, but definitely it has at least met my expectations. It surpassed it in some areas. I think these batteries might last more than 45 minutes. Now, keep in mind, I've been talking a little bit, stopping a little bit, talking again, then ripping a little more, but I've been out here for over 45 minutes, so and we're on the second battery, but so really not too shabby. Pinned. I don't know, there's something cool about tracks. Anyway, guys, so far this first run's gone really well. I guess we'll have to keep on doing more testing. I want to test this out in more environments. I want to do a little bit more crawling with it. I do think the biggest limitation of this machine is going to be the lack of aggressive tread. That's what's going to mainly hurt it. But this could be really cool. I kind of want to do a tug of war with this thing, but I have a feeling if I do a tug of war with anything with this thing, if I strap it down, let's say to here, it's just going to lift up, and then it's just going to be like that much of the tread touching the ground. So it's probably not going to be able to pull that much unless I somehow weight down the front. But yeah, it's actually pretty cool, and I kind of like that feature on it. That's pretty cool. And the headlight feature might be one of the coolest features. The blue headlights on top of that I wonder how well they'd light up at night. Like this one right here, that's kind of more superficial. That doesn't really do a whole lot. I wish that one was kind of lit up too all the time, but that one more like flashes. But I really do like those blue ones in the bumper. But anyway, guys, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. It performed really well in this video. As of right now, I recommend this. It is a heck of a lot of fun for $130. Like I said, it does have, let me do a once over real quick. I don't think anything broke. I think the only thing that happened was the track came off a couple times. And I'm assuming these shocks are probably just spring driven. Yeah, they've got to just be spring driven. And there's no hex screws or anything on this. This is all Phillips. You know, we'll have to see how it holds up going forward, but in this first run, it's actually done really well. I think the biggest thing I'm going to want to do is make sure that I keep the these bearings greased up. Like any of these moving parts, I'm probably going to want to put a dab of, just spray a dab of WD-40 in each of this after I blow it off with compressed air. So then it'll keep these probably moving smoother the next time I have it out, because that's probably going to be one of the biggest things that's going to make this thing start having a lot of strain, is once these start like binding and they don't move smoothly anymore, then we could have issues. But as of right now, she's doing really good. That smoke thing's still working, so it works for quite a while. I mean, I've been sitting here for like 5 minutes. It just keeps on doing it. But anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you are interested in buying this tank, you can go ahead and go down to the link down below in the description. And also, if you purchase it through that link that I have down in the description, I do get a small commission off of that. But if you want to help support the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. That really does help out the channel. Helps me, you know, obtain RCs and parts and stuff that, you know, I wouldn't have the budget for otherwise. But yeah, and if you're not sure yet, you can just keep on watching, because there's going to be more tests with it, and we're going to see how it holds up going forward. But this first test, I am impressed. I think it did really well. I think for $130, we'll see if it holds up going forward, like I said. But in this first run, nothing broke, and it was a heck of a lot of fun. So, I will see you guys in the next video. Later.